Do you dream of fairies and princesses? Then you've come to the right place. Welcome to Disney Coast to Coast.
Hey folks, and welcome to Disney Coast to Coast, the ultimate unofficial Disney fan podcast. I'm Jeff DePauli, and in today's House of Mouse headlines, some updates on the Tokyo Disney expansion, and some more live entertainment is closing in the Disney parks. That and so much more, so let's get to it.
Hear the latest news from the Walt Disney Company in today's House of Mouse headlines.
Let's start off this week overseas at the Tokyo Disneyland Resort. New Fantasyland, a new area featuring the Enchanted Tale of Beauty and the Beast attraction, and the indoor Fantasyland Forest Theater will open to guests on April 15th, 2020. Tax Day, yay! Brand new additions in Tomorrowland and Toontown will open on the same day. Guests can immerse themselves in the tale as old as time upon entering Belle's Village, which features Maurice's cottage, Gaston's fountain, restaurants, and shops. Towering high above the forest is Beauty and the Beast Castle, which houses Enchanted Tale of Beauty and the Beast, an attraction where guests join a magical adventure in vehicles that dance in rhythm to the music from the animated film. Deeper into the forest sits Fantasyland Forest Theater, a 1,500-seat indoor theater with live entertainment featuring Mickey and his pals. Over in Tomorrowland on the Happy Ride with Baymax, guests can join their own personal healthcare companion for an exciting ride that swings them round and round. In Toontown, guests will also be able to meet Minnie Mouse in person at Minnie's Style Studio. The largest redevelopment ever at Tokyo Disneyland promises to enchant guests with an array of brand new experiences, all exclusive to Tokyo Disney Resort. Now let's fly over to Walt Disney World and head to Tomorrowland in Magic Kingdom. The big news at Tomorrowland is that the new entrance sign has been installed, and boy is it the complete opposite of what was once there. Overall, from what I've been seeing online, it looks like most people are liking this drastic change. I have mixed feelings about it. In general, I'm a big fan of minimalist designs, so you'd think I would love this new monochromatic and sleek look. But I've got to be honest, although I typically don't enjoy overly complex and busy designs like the former entryway, I did love that Tomorrowland entrance. I'm not quite sure what it was about it, but although it was busy, it felt fitting to me. I kinda miss it. It does look as though Tomorrowland will be heading in this sleek and modern style overall, since we previously saw a similar thing happen to the sign at Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor. Overall, I guess I'm for it if it means that Tomorrowland will be getting a nice big and needed facelift. Even more changes are coming to Magic Kingdom, as we've learned that the Muppets Present Great Moments in American History will be ending its run in Liberty Square. Another piece of live entertainment is ending at the Disney parks. Although there's been no official statement by Disney about this, it's been noted that cast members have been told that their last day will be October 5th. Obviously, I'm not happy to see another piece of live entertainment leaving the parks, especially one featuring the Muppets, but you've all heard me talk about this trend too often, and frankly too recently, in order for me to rant all over again. There is one additional bit of information pertaining to these closures that I haven't really touched upon though. It's worth noting that in most of these cases, we're not hearing about these closures through any official Disney sources. It tends to be fans and unofficial sites reporting this sort of news. I understand that Disney doesn't want the backlash from this sort of news, but I feel that every production, ride, or piece of entertainment in the Disney parks deserves a proper send-off. It's frankly rude not to have official recognition from the company celebrating the talents who have worked on these shows. Another piece of entertainment leaving Magic Kingdom on October 5th will be the Royal Majesty Makers, who would help to find a child to pull the sword from the stone in Fantasyland. Since it's been such a popular trend, let's continue to talk about entertainment closures in the parks, but this time at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Once again, according to one of the performers, Burudika Band, who often performed in Harambe Market, will play their final performance on October 13th. Maybe I'm being too hard on Disney. After all, we did get all of those live performers we were promised in Galaxy's Edge, like the aliens and droids all over the concept art. Oh wait, if only you could hear my eyes rolling. And now for some news I was happy to hear about over at Epcot. As you probably know by now, the Fountain of Nations at Epcot has closed. What you may not know is that the water in the Fountain of Nations was special water. Delegations from countries around the world poured water from their home countries into the Fountain of Nations. A similar ceremony was held at It's a Small World in Disneyland Park when that attraction opened. In order to preserve this history related to the Fountain of Nations, 2 Epcot cast members collected water from the fountain before it was drained to be used in a new water feature heading to Epcot. This honestly was my first thought when I heard the Fountain of Nations was closing, so I'm happy to see them upholding this tradition. Staying at Epcot, we got a first look at the ride vehicles that will be used for Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Each individual cab in the attraction's Omnicoaster ride system will direct your eyes to the story happening around you. Instead of whizzing by the action, the system will fully immerse you in the attraction's story from the minute you take off. At Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, the adventure will start in the Galaxarium, a planetarium-like exhibition that explores the similarities and mysteries of the formation of Earth's galaxy and Xandar. You'll be invited to learn more about Xandar's treasures until the moment when the Guardians of the Galaxy arrive and adventures across the cosmos ensue. As many have previously noted, it's essentially the same ride system used in Escape from Gringotts at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, but I'm a big fan of the sensation you get from those ride vehicles, so I'm excited to see what Disney will do with them. Now let's hop over to the only theme park I haven't touched upon so far at Walt Disney World. For a limited time starting September 27th, a sneak peek of Disney's Maleficent, Mistress of Evil will be included as part of the Walt Disney Presents attraction at Disney's Hollywood Studios. But the sneak peeks aren't stopping there. At Disney California Adventure Park, the sneak peek will be presented in the evenings at the Sunset Showcase Theater, following daily performances of Mickey's PhilharMagic. That's an interesting change. This special opportunity will also be available aboard Disney Cruise Line and starting September 28th at Walt Disney Studios Park in Disneyland Paris. Maleficent, Mistress of Evil picks up several years after Maleficent, exploring the complex relationship between the Horned Fairy and the soon-to-be Queen as they form new alliances and face new adversaries and their struggle to protect the Moors and the magical creatures that reside within. Last week, you may remember that I talked about how the live show at Disneyland's Golden Horseshoe was ending its run. Well, now I am very happy to share some good news about live entertainment in the parks. A strolling magician will be arriving in Frontierland with astonishing demonstrations of Sleight of Hand. During the fall season, this master of magic can be found on the streets of Frontierland, aboard the Mark Twain steamboat, or mingling with patrons inside the Golden Horseshoe. Following, later in the fall, the Golden Horseshoe lays out the welcome mat for a pair of piano players ready to challenge one another in a good old-fashioned showdown. They'll take turns playing iconic tunes of the Old West and even take requests from the audience. Do you think they'll know any Shawn Mendes music? This upcoming week, a lot of the TV shows are starting back up on network TV, including ABC. I specifically want to point out that the Goldbergs season premiere is this upcoming Wednesday, September 25th. I mention this one because the Goldbergs are taking a road trip to Disneyland in the season premiere. I also mention it because the following week's episode of Disney Coast to Coast will be a Primetime at the Parks episode featuring the Goldbergs, just in case you want to play along. Now let's get to this week's Twitter poll, where I simply asked you folks, which Epcot nighttime spectacular are you looking most forward to? Of course, your choices are Epcot Forever, which opens on October 1st, or Harmonious, which opens in 2020. 19% of you voted for Harmonious, and a huge whopping 81% voted for Epcot Forever, which is the smaller show leading up to the Grand Harmonious. So it'll be interesting to see how these shows turn out. Do you agree with the results of this Twitter poll? Make your voice heard by following Disney CTC on Twitter and taking part in this Twitter poll every week. That's DIZNEY CTC on Twitter. Before we go, I want to give a shout out to Sebastian the Crab. Sebastian the Crab, not the one you're thinking of, a different one, but Sebastian the Crab, thank you so much for leaving that 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. You wrote, "I love the up-to-date news about Disney, especially the parks. The guest interviews are amazing, and Jeff is incredibly knowledgeable about all things Disney and asks great questions of his guests." Well, thank you for the compliments, Sebastian the Crab, and thank you for helping other Disney fans find the show more easily. Now, if you're extremely jealous of Sebastian the Crab right now for getting this shout out, you can get one too. It's super simple. Head over to Apple Podcasts, leave that 5-star rating and review. Just make sure you leave the review. Otherwise, I don't see the username if you leave just the 5-star rating. Although it's appreciated, I'm not able to give you the shout out that way. To find all of our social media, simply head to DisneyCoastToCoast.com, and while you're there, don't forget time is running out to enter the contest to win a trip to Walt Disney World. Head to DisneyCoastToCoast.com, click on contest there, and enter every day through the end of this month. Now, if you love listening to podcasts, you probably have thought about starting one of your very own. If you need more information about how to do that, head to youcanpodcastnow.net for some free information. That's youcanpodcastnow.net. This episode of Disney Coast to Coast was produced by Philip Elke, who has supported the show through Patreon. If you'd like to become a DCTC producer or gain other rewards, including early access to episodes and live stream Q&As and so much more, information can be found at patreon.com/DisneyCTC. That's patreon.com/DIZNEYCTC. Other than that, folks, have a magical day. Bye!
Thanks for listening to Disney Coast to Coast. Have a magical day.
Disney Coast to Coast is produced and hosted by Jeff DePauli. Learn more about the podcast and become a supporter at DisneyCoastToCoast.com.